So today on our program, we have Jeff Oddo, who's the CEO and president of Citywide Franchise. Jeff, how are you today?
I'm great, Jeff. Thank you for having me on your show.
So Jeff, in Kansas City, how's the weather there?
We've had the most amazing summer. We really have. It has just been fantastic. It's in the low 80s again with no humidity. It's just been beautiful. So we're enjoying it.
Very good. So let's talk about your company a little bit. And of course, you can share any personal details you like, but Citywide Franchise, interesting name. It sounds like it's a local company, but tell us about how you got started and where you're at now.
Well, my dad actually started it. I'll go back to the beginning, I guess. 1961, my dad started a janitorial company because his father had a heart attack and they were in cleaning our own grocery stores. And one of the most difficult things that they could do, even back then in the 50s and 60s, was to find people to come in the buildings at night and clean. And so when his father had a heart attack, they had to sell the stores and close. And so my dad was out of a job. He just got married. He just had his first son, and he just bought his first house. And he was expecting on being in the family grocery store business and looking for something new to do. And what he finally decided was, if they were struggling with finding janitors, then he guessed that other people were having that same challenge. And so, sure enough, he started a cleaning company, and he did a great job for 30 years. He was effectively a janitorial company, became one of the largest in Kansas City, and eventually his three sons came in. Now we had multiple businesses, but I took over the janitorial service company and I changed it into a management company into the building maintenance industry. And basically that just means is I didn't want all the equipment, the inventory, the vehicles. I really just wanted to sell and oversee the services and focus on the client experience. I just knew that there were a lot of people who could cut grass and paint buildings better than me. I had no passion or expertise in pest control or window washing or asphalt repair. But I love the sales. I love being in front of the clients. I love the business component of it. And I love the client experience. And so I felt like that was my core competency. And we changed it from a janitorial company with all in-house employees to mostly all third-party contracted independent contractors that perform all the services. And so we've just gotten really good at finding contractors to do the work and holding them accountable to make sure that they deliver on our promises.
Yeah, so finding those folks that do the work, I bet that's a challenge at times, getting qualified people.
It is, it's one of those things. There's plenty of people out there. The issue is finding the people. It's really finding good people and retaining them. And we've really learned through the last, since we converted the model over, it's taken us a long time to figure out how to find the right person, retain the right contractor, and then hold them accountable, because that's the hard part is how do you hold them accountable and keep them motivated, engaged, and or find the problems and solve the problems long before the client ever sees it. And so that's what we've gotten good at.
What did you do before this?
I was a college student at K-State, architectural engineer. I went straight into the family business. Jeff, we were like a family farm. It was like, there's no choice. You're coming into the family business. You get a choice on which business you're coming into, but you're coming into the family business. So the only other job I've ever had outside of the family was I was a houseboy for the Tridelts, and I got a wife and three beautiful daughters out of that minimum wage job. So best dividends you can ever get out of a minimum wage job. I got paid to cook and clean for 180 girls every single night. It was awesome. But that's my experience prior to running Citywide.
That job might be another story altogether.
Oh yeah,
we'll figure that out. So architectural engineer.
Yep.
How often do you use that skill in your business today?
Every day. It's amazing. People ask me all the time, it's like, are you sad that you don't get to use your degree? It's like, man, I use it every single day, because what I like about the architectural engineer, it's half civil engineering and half architectural engineering. And so from an architectural standpoint, I design, in my mind, we'll be $1 billion company by the end of 2026, if not sooner. In my mind, it is crystal clear. I've got this beautiful citywide city that I share with every employee and contractor And people that come through the walls, I tell them this is where we are today and where we're going to go. And it's that story of pictures worth 1,000 words. Beautiful image, tells the whole story. So in my mind, it's crystal clear. Well, then now that you've got the picture and the image of where you want to go and how you want to get there, now it's down to the civil engineering part of it, which is the executing and the designing and the structure. And I love that. And so it's this left brain, right brain every single day. We're designing, see a new thing, a new vision. I'm very much a visionary, big picture thinker, but I love the strategy, tactical execution side of the business as well.
Nice application of your education for sure.
Yeah.
So you are in Kansas City, but you're actually a nationwide company. Tell us about your growth.
Well, so I had a gentleman, Tom Hill, co-author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul, came in and talked to my Vistage Group, tech CEO group. And he said that the only way to truly be significant in life is to teach other people how to do what you've been successful at. And he encouraged our whole CEO group. He said, it's not good enough just to be financially successful. You have to be significant in life if you're going to live Maslow's hierarchy of needs and to truly be fulfilled. And I didn't really understand at the time. I didn't understand Maslow. I didn't understand purpose and fulfillment and all those big fancy words, but I knew I wasn't really truly satisfied, even though we were doing well and making money. And so that night I went home. I didn't know anything about franchising, and we decided to get into franchising. And it's been wonderful. It's been the best thing ever. I would not still be in the business if it wasn't for franchising, because I just love the impact that we're having. Everything that we do is about the ripple. And I know we're going to probably talk about that a little bit later, but really teaching others, I think at heart, I'm more of a teacher than I am anything else. And I just love helping other people have the success that we have been blessed to have here in Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. Well, nice story. In fact, talking about stories, we did run a brief article about your company in one of the publications I oversee, Clean and Maintenance Management Magazine, an online exclusive. And in that article, you talked about Project Lemonade. Mm-hmm. Now, we all like lemonade, but it must be more than that. Tell us about your project.
Well, so it really started with the DACO task force, and it was two projects, the Project Lemonade and Project Tidal Wave. And what we said is there's really two parts to getting through this whole COVID-19 thing is what do we do today? How do we take the lemons that we've been given and turn it into lemonade? What can we do today, right now, to truly help our clients and help our employees and help our contractors get through this? And not just from a financial standpoint, but from the mental anguish that people are going through and the psychological problems. What can we do to turn the lemons into lemonade? And that was came out of the task force of a group of people who just sat down and really started thinking about what we can do to help others. And then Project Tidal Wave is, I've touched on our ripple, is our mission is to save time, solve problems, but to expand the ripple to positively impact everybody's lives. I don't think people come to work, as a matter of fact, I know my employees, my franchisees, we are not passionate about cleaning toilets or cutting grass or emptying trash, and painting buildings. It's a means to the end. And the end is how can we make a difference in the world? And the services that we provide is what our contractors do, but it's an opportunity for us to get paid every single day to show up and to become the best versions of ourselves and to impact the world one service at a time, one client at a time, one day at a time. And that's what this whole Project Tidal Wave is. How do we turn the ripple into a tidal wave and truly come out of this on the other side and just be a kick-ass dominant player that everybody wants to be part of? And those were the two projects that came out of that COVID-19 task force.
Yeah, COVID-19 is going to change a lot of things, some for the better, when you think about the value of clean and what companies are going to do to provide cleaner buildings, even though we're suffering right now through that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us about how you guys have helped some first responders in your market.
Well, that's our franchisees. We do a really good job of attracting franchisees that share our values. Every franchisee is interviewed with me. One of the things that I talk about is we measure multiple things. Two of the things that we measure on a big scoreboard in our offices and show on an annual basis is the number of service hours that we are giving back to the community, and then the charitable donations. And so people are chosen based in part on their servant heart. And what you find is we've got just a lot of amazing franchise owners who are going out there and feeding um, um, frontline workers, are bringing gifts to frontline workers, are volunteering to do things around their house for frontline workers and others. It's not just frontline workers, but the franchise community has really stepped up and just done a ton of things to give back, spread that ripple, and make a difference in their local communities.
Yeah. Was any effort done to help like the police or fire department or medical?
There was, and every, we've got some people who are military, and so they chose to pursue the military, and then they've got some cities who have kids who are police or fire, and so one of my daughters is a nurse, and so nursing to me is more important. So
Hmm.
uh, while we might just suggest, some ideas and things that people could pursue. The franchisees really, we left it up to them to do it. It's kind of like I really would love to have a one organization that we support as a national company, but we realized a long time ago that instead of us dictating and mandating or suggesting that we're going to do the Ronald McDonald House across the country, every franchise convention is held at one of our cities. And so what we do is we have the hosting franchisee gets to choose the organization for the year, to where if people want to be able to make donations, we support the local franchisees organization of choice. And so that's been really good for us by allowing them the autonomy. We might set it in motion and leave it up to them to execute. And boy, they do a great job of executing.
I
Very
imagine that
genuine.
brings the enthusiasm to a higher level when they get to choose the one that's closer to their hearts.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it is. And boy, I tell you, when we go to these cities, the local people, they're passionate. They bring in the people from the organization, and it's been wonderful to see.
Yeah. So not to go too negative, but a lot of cleaning companies have had to lay off workers and or furlough workers. Now I know your business model might be different, but how has the slowdown affected your company?
It's been painful. It really has. When this whole thing went down, we had cities who were reporting as much as 40% reduction in their contract business, and we did several things to mitigate the collateral damage. And so some of the things we said is we'll waive fees if you'll keep these people employed. We'll waive our fees on it. And then we postponed our royalties, we postponed some of the advertising fees, our technology fees. So some of the things we were able to do to kind of work with our franchisees to be able to put them in a better position so that they wouldn't have to lay people off. Now, at the corporate home office, we didn't lay off a single person, but what I did do is I got everybody together started out on a weekly basis town hall meeting like this, and then it's every other week very quickly. And I said, here's the deal. I love you all and I want to keep you employed. But the fact of the matter is this is scary for all of us. And I don't know how long or deep it's going to go. But what I will commit to you is a ongoing regular communication with you. And basically we're going to do it in these multiple phases. Is number one, no more wages, no more increases, or no more wage increases, no more new employees. Everything is frozen, no expenses. That's where we are right now. If it gets worse, then we're going to ask everybody to take a reduction in the pay. And if it continues to get worse, then we're going to start laying off or furloughing people. And then if the fourth phase was actually laying off people. And thank God we never ever had to go past phase one, which was freezing bonuses and compensation. And it worked. Everybody's been paid back in full. We never got to phase two. And I think the communication eliminated some of the stress for the people. We have all company meetings all the time, and sometimes they're not as populated as you might like, but these meetings were 100% attendance. They were
Well
there
attended.
in
Yeah.
force. Yeah.
Well, having a plan and implementing is the key. And that's what sounds like what you've done.
Yeah.
So Jeff, thinking about the future for the cleaning industry in general, what do you see as far as the potential, the growth because of what the pandemic has done?
Yeah. Okay. So I think there's going to be some tough times. Actually, I really do suspect that this is not all sunshine and roses going forward. And the reality is I believe that a lot of business owners are going to be given back uh, space. They're going to realize that they can have employees working from home. And so what I suspect will happen is some of these businesses that were going to build new buildings might not build new buildings. Some of these people who are going to add on more floors might not add on more floors. And some people who have a certain amount of space, when it comes time for their lease to come up, they might get back 10, 20, 30% of it. Now, that's the bad side. The good side is that I think that you're going to find that they're going to start giving people a lot more space. So instead of budgeting 150 square foot per person, you might see that they might start averaging 250 or 300 square foot per person. From a cleaning standpoint, we're not a cleaning company, but from the contractors that provide the cleaning for us, the cleaning contractors are still going to be paid whether there's 25 people in my building or 35 people in my building. I still have to clean the building every single day, and the restrooms and the common areas and the offices. And so though I think that there's going to be some challenging times. I think that the most challenging time for the cleaning industry is that people, our customers, are starting to realize going with a low bid provider just because they're the cheapest one has a dramatic impact on the bottom line. They can't just choose the lowest provider and not expect to have some sort of repercussions for the health and safety of their employees and owners and building owners and business owners. Most valuable asset is the employees. And I suspect that they're going to realize it's more important than ever to acknowledge the fact that the janitorial companies are an important part of the ecosystem, and they need to start thinking of us differently.
Nice perspective, Jeff. We do appreciate that. So Jeff, in this pandemic especially, there's probably a lot of contractors out there who find that they need work. Are you the type of company they should come to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we are really good at helping mid-sized contractors grow. So if you've got, if you're listening to this or your readers are wondering about Citywide, the top 20% isn't going to be a good fit for us. You already have your professional sales and management. We duplicate overhead. The model breaks down. The bottom 20%, small mom and pops, college students, retirees, are not professional enough to make it to our team. But that middle 60, what we do, Jeff, is we go to them and say, okay, you've got a lawn landscaping business. How much excess capacity do you have? And they'll say, well, I've got 6 trucks. I've got 14 employees. I could handle another $22,000 a week in services. And we say, great, book it. I've got $22,000 a week in services in your geographical marketplace, and we keep you in that market. And what we do for them is we sell for them. We do the client experience so they can stay in the field doing what they do best, and we guarantee them payment on the 10th of every single month. So our contractors absolutely love us because most of our contractors are very good at what they do, but they're not good with the sales. They need the guaranteed cash flow. Whether we get paid or not, our contractors have always been paid. And then, of course, they love the fact that they can just do what they do and not have to work all night and take the calls starting at 6:37, 8 o'clock in the morning. Because that's what we provide for them. So yes, reach out to gocitywide.com or contact your local citywide maintenance business in your market.
Yeah, gocitywide.com or Google it, I guess. They'll find you either way.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, good talking to you. And no doubt we'll talk again. Maybe we'll see each other at a trade show one day or at a Kansas City Chiefs game.
All right, that'd be great. I'll buy you some barbecue ribs. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate your time. Best of luck.
Have a good one.